Hello everyone. This is a series of presentation made on the topic IPv6, that is Internet Protocol version 6. So we already seen the previous version of the protocol, that is IPv4, and how this IPv4 protocol is working and how the addresses are allocated and what about the IPv4 header structure. Everything we already discussed, right? So if you are looking at this IPv4 protocol, it is a 32-bit address. It is providing you 32 bits binary address. Now using this 32-bit, you can have say 2 raised to 32 different IP addresses. Now see, this 2 raised to 32 is a big number, right? So this is, the base is 2. So just see how big it is. So it's a very big number, but we have to move to a different version of IP address. See what could be the reason. Like if you are looking at this IPv6, it is an 128-bit address. That means IPv6 is going to provide you binary address which is of length 128 bits. Now using this 128 bits, we can come up with the 2 raised to 128 different addresses. See how big it is compared to this 2 raised to 32. Now we are getting 2 raised to 128 different addresses. Now the question is, why we have to shift from this IPv4 to IPv6? And another question I can ask you is, what happened with the IP version 5? Okay, so just try to figure out, or IP version 1 or version 2, what could be the reason? Normally after IPv4, people will be moving to the next version, it could be IPv6, but instead of that we are having IPv6. Right? Okay, so what happened to IPv5? So the reason could be like in an experimental phase we have this IP version 5, but we may not meet all the requirement that we need, or due to some reason this particular version could failed, and that is why the next stable version is IPv6. And after IPv4, maybe in theory IPv5 will be there, but in practical we are having the IPv6 protocol, that is the next stable version. Now is it stable, or if it is stable, how long it could be stable? There is an estimate like say for the next 50 years there could not be any new version. So how one can say like that? So this is an approximate counting. So why it is said like that is because the IPv6 is designed in such a way that there could not be any problem. They estimated all possible problems that could occur in the future. Accordingly, they come up with the design of IPv6. So there is an estimate like next 50 years it is not going to be replaced by any other version. So that is what we are expecting. And we will see how beautifully the header of IPv6 is created. So the main attraction is this address, like from 32 immediately they are jumping to 128, and you will be surprised like is it needed, why this 128 bits? It's a very big number, right? This 2 raised to 32 itself is a big number. Now the thing is like when this IPv4 is coming, think about that situation and what is happening in the current scenario. Right now we are having the concept of this IoT, right, Internet of Things. And with that, what is happening? Like everything is, every device is getting part of the internet, or we can say that every gadget is getting an IP address. So that is our current scenario. Like if you are looking at this autonomous car or a refrigerator, say it is controlled by you in your office, like that many things you already read about it, right? So when such a thing is happening, like so how you are going to control a refrigerator from your office? That is by means of network only. That means this refrigerator should be a member of the network, right? Just like your laptop or your mobile. So in such a situation, we are already connecting our laptop, say our mobile, then say the desktop, everything into network. Now in addition to that, we are going to connect all these gadgets like the refrigerator, autonomous car, everything into the internet. So that is a situation. In such a situation, you can't estimate like what could be the future requirement when everything is getting part of the internet. So that is where we need a protocol which is supporting a very big address. So with that future estimate, people come up with this IPv6 protocol, and they made this IPv6 address as an 128-bit address. So with this introduction, we are beginning our discussion on IPv6. So I already told you IPv6 is the next generation internet protocol designed by IETF, that is Internet Engineering Task Force. So what is the expansion? Internet Engineering Task Force. So this is the organization which is taken care of the design, addressing everything. So to replace the current version of the internet protocol, that is IPv4. Now IPv6 fixes a number of problems of IPv4, such as the limited number of available IPv4 addresses. This is the main thing that is taken care by IPv6, but instead of that, there are a number of improvements that are made by IPv6 over IPv4. We will see them. So it also adds many improvements to IPv4 in areas such as routing. That means if you are looking at the routing, we have a concept called hierarchical routing in IPv6, and which is not there in IPv4. Not only that, there are many other features by which the routing is improved in IPv6. Okay, if time allows, we will see these things in detail. Now another thing is network auto configuration. See, if you are looking at the IPv4 network, how it is configured in a typical network, you know that either you can do some manual configuration, or you can use something called the DHCP protocol, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. So most of the cases you will be doing this configuration by running the DHCP protocol, where from your machine you will be sending a DHCP request to the internet service provider, and they will be replying you back with the IP address. And now when it comes to IPv6, we have a concept called auto configuration, and that is not for all addresses. For some specific set of addresses this is there. And that means whenever the machine is turning on, without the help of any other protocol, it is doing the configuration by itself. And to make it possible, we need enough number of IP addresses, and that we already have, because we are having the 128-bit address, right? So if time allows, we will see how this auto configuration is working in IPv6. Now another point, IPv6 is expected to gradually replace, it will be gradually replacing IPv4. With the two coexisting for a number of years during the transition period. See, right now we are in the transition period. That means we already have the well established IPv4, and we are just moving on to IPv6, the new protocol. So we are in the transition period, and after some time there will not be any IPv4. You can see that everything is replaced by IPv6, but it will take time. So right now we are in the experimental phase, and we are slightly changing from IPv4 to IPv6. So that is the current scenario. Now let's see some of the features of IPv6. The first one, IPv6, obvious one, the IPv6 has longer address than IPv4, because right now we are having 128-bit address, right, instead of that 32-bit address. Now there are say 16 byte. What is 16 byte? That is nothing but 128, because 128, 1 byte is 8 bits. So 128 is nothing but 16 into 8, because 16 is 2 raised to 4, 8 is 2 raised to 3, and that is equal to 2 raised to 7. That is nothing but 128. Okay. So our IPv6 address is nothing but a 16 byte address or an 128 bit address, which solves the problem of IPv6 problem that IPv6 set out to solve. That is providing an effectively unlimited supply of internet addresses. So the next feature, the simplification of the header, and it is very important. If you are looking at IPv4, you can see that the header is somewhat complicated. There are around 13 fields that you can see in the header. So you have to count that version field, type of version field, then IP header length, type of service, then what is the next field, total length field. So the first row itself is containing 4 fields. Now the next row, just remember how that IPv4 header is looking. We have the fragmentation, then 3 flags are coming, then the fragmentation offset identification. Similarly, just count, you can see there are 13 different fields in IPv4. I think we are counting the addresses and option together. That is how we are getting this 13. Now, instead of this 13, if you are looking at the IPv6 header, there are only 7 fields. Okay, and we will see in the next slide. We are going to explain the IPv6 header, and that is how it is making symbol. That means when we are looking at IPv4 header, there are many things which are actually initially when people proposed it, they thought that it is of useful, but many of the fields are actually avoidable also, or they can instead of putting them in a mandatory field, you can put them as an optional field. One thing I can directly tell you is this fragmentation header. Fragmentation. So see, fragmentation, initially people thought that that will be a mandatory thing, but as for the time when we are looking at the current scenario, actually without fragmentation also some 60 to 80% of the communication can take place, but in some cases only we need this fragmentation. So whether we need it or not, we don't need it, simply we are keeping that fragmentation information in the IP header. If you are in case of IPv4, so what happened in IPv6 is they just moved this fragmentation information to the option, but this option itself they are handling it in a different way by means of something called an extension header. So extension header that we will see in IPv6, the concept of fragmentation is just done by an extension header, which is a kind of optional header. In the main header we don't have this fragmentation. Okay, so that is one of the means when we are looking at the number of fields, this is how, say, a fragmentation, that row itself is removed, right? Similarly, checksum is not there. Like that, many things are improved here. So this change allows the routers to process the packets faster, because now we are having less number of fields. It can be processed fastly, right? And hence we can improve the throughput as well as the delay in a typical IPv6 network. Now another one, better support for option. This is what I already mentioned. Like if you are looking at IPv6, we don't have the concept of option in the main header. Instead, what are all the information we are planning to put in the option is now handled by something called a extension header. Okay, and that we will see. And when we are changing like that, what benefit we are getting, it's a very good design. So this change was essential with the new header. Because the fields that are previously were required are now optional. That is also another thing. Just like the fragmentation, which is mandatory in the IPv4, but when it comes to IPv6, it is a optional feature. So accordingly, we have to support some more information in the optional field than what is supported by IPv4. So what we are doing is we are actually extending this option itself. We are providing a number of options, and flexibly in the future also anyone can come up with any option if it is something needed, and they can simply add it by something called a extension header. So extension header is the main point in IPv6. Then in addition, the way options are represented is different, and that is what it is, making it simpler for routers to skip over the options which are not intended for them. So what we will do is we are going to make an extension header for each and every option. So when we are looking at a router, if a particular router is not in need of a particular extension header, they can simply skip it. So some of the extension headers are going to provide some information to the router, and others will be giving information to the destination machine. So such headers will be simply skipped by the router. So in that way we can improve the processing speed. So this feature again speed up the packet processing time. Now another important feature here is IPv6 is having a very big advance in its security. So if you are looking IPv4, there is no security, but in IPv6 we have the concept of security, and it is provided as a inbuilt feature. Okay, so when you look at the IPv6 header, that header itself is providing you this security, and security is implemented by something called a IPsec Internet Protocol Security Protocol Suite, and this is proposed as part of IPv6, but we can make use of this IPsec protocol to provide security in IPv4 also. So that is an independent protocol actually, but in IPv6 it is inbuilt in the, or it is mandatory in the means it's not like mandatory, it is security is optional feature only, but it is there as an inbuilt feature in IPv6, and it is provided by means of this extension header. Okay, so there is a something called an authentication extension header providing authentication, and there is a encapsulating security payload, ESP, encapsulating security payload, or the ESP header, which is providing the encryption. So authentication and privacy are the key features of the new IP protocol. Now another very important concept is quality of service, that is QoS. So which is not there in IPv4, but it is provided as an additional feature in IPv6. Like IPv6 is designed in such a way that it is having inbuilt support for quality of service, and this is what makes the real-time communication, say multimedia communication, etc. Very efficient. Okay, so this I made a separate series of lectures on the topic quality of service that you can refer. So that is a very vast topic actually, and if you are going through, so I divided that video into 5 different parts. If you are going through all the 5 parts, you will get an idea of the concept, what is QoS, and how the network is trying to provide the quality of service in a typical IP network. So that about the main features, like main features in a typical IPv6 protocol. Now we are moving on to the discussion on IPv6 header format. See, so before starting this, you have to see this RFC. What is RFC? Request for comments. So this is the technical documentation of internet protocols. Okay, request for comments. So you can see that if you look at any internet protocol, whether it is IPv4, IPv6, or some application layer protocol like HTTP, FTP, for everything we have a RFC document. So particularly for IPv6, if you are looking at the RFC 2460, this is a documentation number for this particular protocol, you will get the detailed header format and everything in detail. You simply search in Google and you will get the document. From that you can learn the header. So right now I am just giving you a brief idea only, but for more details and for a better understanding, please refer this RFC 2460. So this is how the IPv6 header is looking. So there is something called a version field, which is a 4-bit field, and that is just like our IPv4 version. We saw that in IPv4 this version field is containing, say, the binary 0 100, that is a representation of 4 in binary. But when it comes to 6, here you have to represent here you have to represent 0 110. That is nothing but the binary of 6. Okay, so just that is a field for the time being, because we have only IPv6. Now we have another one called actually why this field is needed, because by looking at this field only the intermediate routers are distinguishing it from the IPv4 packet. Okay, for that purpose we are maintaining it. Now another one is the priority or the traffic class, and that is like the type of service field in IPv4. You can compare it with that, but with a different meaning given to this field. Now flow label is something newly introduced in IPv6. We will see what is the flow and how it is working. And payload length, it is already there in IPv4 also, 16-bit field. Using that you can represent the payload. And we will see its detail. So here payload includes the extension headers also, that you have to keep in your mind. Now next header is nothing but the protocol field in IPv4. So that is given a better naming, that's all, because what is the next header? Here in IPv4 the protocol field is containing, if you are looking at IPv4 protocol, what is the payload? It could be either a TCP packet or it could be a UDP packet, because IPv4 is a network layer protocol which will be containing some information from the transport layer. Transport layer we may be either using TCP or UDP, or it can be say a network layer protocol itself, say ICMP. So accordingly we will be storing the protocol number. Same protocol number here also we are storing, but when it comes to IPv6, we have the main concept of main header and extension headers. All the options are represented by extension headers. So when it comes to main header followed by a number of extension header, the main header may be following extension header, or it may be following the actual transport layer header. So accordingly, so we are using a more meaningful name for this field called next header. It is nothing but the protocol number only of the payload. Okay. What is immediately coming next to this, next to the main header. Again it is an 8-bit field, and this hop limit is again renaming given to the time to leave field, and we know the purpose of TTL. It is for avoiding the packet looping in a typical IPv4 network, and same thing is handled by the hop limit, because we are limiting the number of hop for the packet, right, by means of the field. So it is a instead of time to leave, you can make use of this name hop limit. And then we will be storing the source IP address and destination IP address. Source IP address 128-bit, right? So 128-bit is nothing but 16 bytes. And similarly you will be storing the destination IP. This is another 16 bytes. See, now tell me what is the total size of the fixed header. If you are looking at the first row, here we have 4 bits, 8 bits, 20 bits. So say just add them, 20 plus 8, 28 plus 4. So this row, this particular row is an 128-bit field, right? 32-bit. 20 plus 8 plus 4, it is 32 bits. So 32-bit is nothing but, 32-bit is nothing, it's nothing but 4 byte. So first row is 4 byte. Similarly second row is again another 4 byte. Now the third row onwards we have a 16 byte, again 16 byte. So this is the main header. Okay. So 16 plus 16 plus 4 plus 4, we have a how many bytes? 40 byte. So we have a 40 byte fixed main header in IPv6, followed by the options which are represented by extension headers. That can be any number. So this is something 40 byte fixed part. You have to compare this with our IPv4. In IPv4 we have a, hope you remember, we have a 20 byte fixed part plus 40 byte varying. So that is a variable length field, right? So 20 to 40, that will be ranging from 20 to 40 byte. We can't, 20 to 60 byte varying header we have in IPv4. So as it is a variable, definitely we need a field called IP header length field, and that is there in IPv4. See, such a field is missing here. That means here we don't have to store the header length, because the header is something fixed. Okay, so we have the fixed IPv6 main header, and this is how it is looking, followed by the extension headers. Okay, that about this part. We will see each field in detail in the next part of the presentation. Thank you all.